to Voiceover Nina. I'll be taking you through what we did during this orientation week, and this is all my unsolicited opinion because I paid to be there. So on day one, I waited in this queue of like 2,000 people, I think, to get a wristband, which you use to like pay at every single event. And then after we found your group, we went to this picnic in Ooster Park, which honestly was extremely overwhelming because there were 5,000 people, I think. Just try and imagine the population of a small American town traveling together in a horde and everyone is on a bike. Pause the video. For lunch, they gave us an Albert Heijn bag full of stuff, which even my Dutch standards is pretty bad. For example, the bread that they gave us were 2 hamburger buns, not even sandwich bread, hamburger buns. And it came with a tiny little container of jam, a waffle, a bag of chips, and an apple. It was pretty mid. Obviously, this is not enough to sustain you, especially if you're biking everywhere, so everyone had to like go on their own little supermarket run and get some snacks to keep themselves going throughout the day. Then after the picnic, we went to this theater to have a sort of assembly where the president of the University of Amsterdam came out and introduced herself and told us a little bit about Amsterdam and like blah blah blah, enjoy your college experience because you only get it one time. And this guy who was the warm-up guy told us that there was a fire drill, so it was giving very much elementary school auditorium vibes, because if you went to school in America, you know that they always have a fire drill afterwards, so I thought that was really funny.
Yeah,
wait, is he serious? Or is this part of his act?
When the fire alarm goes off, don't panic, because it's not a real fire, we hope, otherwise it would be a crazy coincidence. Is that clear?
Yes!
And the final thing for day one was that we all took the ferry to the north of Amsterdam at NSDM. Just getting there is stressful because again we're with 5,000 children and you have to like box out. You have to use your basketball skills to even get a spot on the ferry. But luckily we did. Do you see how many children are here? Like, it's crazy. But I really enjoy a ferry ride. I think it's really relaxing, especially at night when the sun is setting, so I really enjoyed that part. It had this sort of weird crossover between a techno rave and a school fair, and it was just really strange because they have to sell you of why you should join their club, right? But you obviously can't hear them because there's techno music blasting in the background.
Yeah, I know.
No, you have to do it. No, you have to join me.
Then on day 2, we were supposed to meet our group at the Rijksmuseum for a little painting morning, but I went to the wrong garden. But I ended up having a very good nap in the sunshine because they have the same seats that they have in Jardin Luxembourg in Paris, so I didn't really mind.
Yes, yes, you British boy.
Wow.
Wow.
Film.
Ooh. Oh.
Ooh. Oh, they moved the camera.
We can move the camera.
Hey.
But how do we see where is this the camera?
Oh, that camera. There.
What is that camera?
For the recording.
Oh, so all lectures are recorded?
Yeah.
So you don't need to come in person?
Yeah.
After the museum morning, there was a barbecue at Rutgers Island again. And all I have to say about this barbecue is that if the best thing at the barbecue is the corn, then maybe you sort of have a problem. Finally, that night, there was a pub crawl where you would get a free shot at every pub you went to, but I only lasted 2 shots because I'm a lightweight. It was good I didn't drink a lot because that way I got to enjoy the classical music that we started out with on day 3 at the Concertgebouw. And if you've seen another video of mine, you know that I love going here, so I gladly take a free chance to go there. And it was the student orchestra, I believe, and they played a few famous movie tracks and of course Beethoven's 5th Symphony, because they were trying to introduce people, try and get them to come, because as you know, classical music is favored mostly by people who are of the retiree age. And speaking of that, this was the first time I've seen the audience here so full and everyone was young, which is kind of funny. Do you know what I mean? Because normally when you go here, everyone has gray hair. And then they ran out of lunch. So here we are at Museum Plain, all eating our food from Aberdeen. After the Concertgebouw, we went on a boat ride tour of Amsterdam, and even though we had to wait in line for a very long time, I think this was one of my favorite activities simply because I just like being outside and it's very relaxing to me. Gotta mentally prepare for waiting in line for another like 30 minutes to ride a boat. It's like Disneyland. It's like we're constantly traveling around with 4,000 children, all on bikes, because it's Amsterdam, of course. We've taken over this town. Here you can see an example of how crazy long the line was. Also, it was really hot that day, so imagine waiting 2 hours in line with sweaty bodies everywhere. But I gotta say, the highlight of this day was when I won 10 free Domino's pizzas at another student fair, and I fed my entire group.
Let's go, let's go. Pizza, pizza. Pizza, pizza, pizza.
So yeah, I guess you can say I'm the breadwinner of this family.
Let the pizzas kopen. Oh my god, it's such a good decision. Ja, en ik heb één op mijn fiets ook. Yeah, Dutch.
The final event of this day was you could choose from 3 night shows, and we chose going to the drag show because none of us had ever seen it before.
Seen a drag show before?
Nah.
I don't know what to expect. This place is mostly going to like musical numbers and like dance. Like really like flamboyant, completely packed.
And this lady dressed up as Barbra Streisand, I think, lip-synced to Taylor Swift's 10-minute All Too Well. And that was the whole day. Day 4, Thursday, was just a rest day because honestly everyone was either hungover, very burned out socially because we've been hanging out with like a group, being surrounded by people also for like 12 hours a day, walking everywhere. So I just went to the museum night and I explored this rich guy's house, this old rich guy who's dead obviously, and I pretended it was mine for a little bit. I really liked the spiral staircase. Day 5, Friday, was probably the most exciting. Obviously they left the best for last. So we started out the day by going to Artis, the Amsterdam Zoo, and I really enjoyed this for a variety of reasons. The first one being that I love animals, and I think it's stupid how once you're past the age of 8, it's no longer socially acceptable to enjoy going to the zoo, and then you have to go there on a date or as a grandparent. The second big reason is because this is the only area that could actually hold our student population of like 4,000, 5,000 kids comfortably, and we could just wander around as we pleased, which is kind of ironic because it's a zoo. Get it? Haha. Here's the butterfly room, which I think is pretty unique to artists. And I tried making friends with a lemur, but this lemur didn't want to be friends back with me, and I look kind of stupid because of it. Here it is leaving me. Also, we got separated from our group because they wanted a snack, but we found this penguin feeding, which is pretty dang cool in my opinion. Outside of the zoo, I also made another animal friend. Here's a black cat I found on the side of the road. I hope I get to see this cat again. After the zoo, there was a festival during the day. Here is an example of the line that's just to get in. They had a bunch of stuff like silent disco. They had a little like stage, I think. There was like a bunch of games you could play. Then finally, there was a huge party at the end. There were 3 clubs that you could choose from. And I stayed out till 3 a.m., which was very new for me, a very new experience. And that's it for this video. It's a little bit different from what I usually make. It's much less curated, a little bit shorter. I like to think of it as like a voice memo, except with photos, that I would send to a friend, you. And even though it might seem mundane now, I'm sure that in a couple of years I'll look back and be grateful that I recorded this. So that's why I decided to make this video. And of course, new videos are coming. I am trying to level up my editing game, so I hope that you've noticed that in the past couple videos try to make it much more cinematic. And yeah, there definitely will be more university content, more Amsterdam adventures, more European adventures. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!